guys, welcome to Movie Club. On this show, we
Hello.
watch movies on Netflix, and if you want to join in, you can go to netflix.com/sourcefed and get a whole free month of movies and watch them with us.
Free stuff?
Yeah.
Free stuff? We're so good to you.
Yeah.
We're so good
Yeah,
to you.
because you're good to us, and you watch all our stuff, and you like things. that we do.
Sometimes.
What do we watch, Joe?
We watched The Frighteners, which
Yes.
is one of my favorite movies. I loved The Frighteners. It came out in the 90s, 96.
Yeah,
Came out
that
in
sounds
96. Peter Jackson is the director. Robert Zemeckis is the producer. So it's just this amazing team of talent coming together to bring just a silly but dark love letter, I would say, to the world of horror.
Yeah, and it's really cool because Peter Jackson is a huge horror fan. If you've seen his earlier movies,
Dead Alive.
Now, The Frighteners is Peter Jackson's return to horror after the movie Brain Dead. If you don't know what Brain Dead is, well...
Party's over.
yeah, that's basically Brain Dead.
For Peter Jackson, The Frighteners is actually pretty tame as far as gore and gross-outs go compared to his previous films. This seems to fit in more with like Tim Burton movies. It also helps that Danny Elfman did the score because his music is unmistakable.
So this film was directed by Peter Jackson. Wait, so this was the guy that done Lord of the Rings? The same man, he's done plenty of other films, such as The Hobbit. The main star in this is Michael J. Fox. Hey, isn't the guy from Back to the Future? Yeah, he's done other films than just that. Like what? Back to the Future 2?
Also, starring Michael J. Fox.
Yes,
which
it's his
is
last.
Really cool.
It's his last leading role in a movie. This was, I was reading on the trivia section of Internet Movie Database. This was Michael J. Fox's last movie as a leading man because he was on the set and he was like, I don't want to be away from my family anymore, so I'm going to go do TV.
Oh, so it wasn't Parkinson's?
Not yet.
Okay.
But in this performance, you can kind of tell a little bit that it might be starting to affect him, but it wasn't too bad.
I really like how it gives me like a Ghostbustery feel with the way the ghosts are designed and like put in place in the movie. Michael J. Fox is in this, is wonderful. I watch him on his new show. He's good in that also.
I seem to be in a bit of a pickle myself. I love Michael J. Fox. This movie definitely gets nostalgia points for me. It also is just a classic for a horror night theme movie that's not scary at all.
But it's a cool final, like, starring role for him.
Yep.
Because it's a great role. I mean, great character. And
Nothing he had done up to that point either.
Yeah,
you know?
no, totally not. And it was him kind of doing coming back to that genre of like kind of comedy, suspense, horror kind of thing.
He was likable, like Michael J. Fox tends to be, but before this, I feel like all of his roles were these roles where he was being the guy that you're supposed to love and fall in love with because he's adorable and you'll want to pinch his cheeks. But he was actually kind of sleazy, a little bit of slime in this role, and it was dark. It was really fun to see Michael J. Fox try something different. Other people in the cast included Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah!
Probably walks away with the performance of the film.
Yeah, I was thinking like if you could give someone an Oscar for their
Out of
role
the
in
whole
this movie,
film?
I would totally give it to Jeffrey Combs. He's so cool.
Yeah, and he's connected to the world of horror with the Reanimator and stuff like that. Fun fact about Jeffrey Combs and another actor in this film. I found out, I was telling Steve, I got weird connections with the people in this movie. Jeffrey Combs, again, Reanimator, just legendary in the world of horror. Steve goes to horror conventions and he sees him there.
Yeah, I actually have a poster signed by Jeffrey Combs, a Frighteners poster.
I do improv here in LA at Comedy Sports, and his daughter is part of the Comedy Sports family, and she's babysat my daughter a number of times. Really weird.
That's so crazy.
And then the other random connection that I have with this film is Troy Evans, the guy that plays the cop, the sheriff. He, and also you see him in like Ace Ventura.
Yeah,
he's like a cop in that one too, I think. Just plays that guy. He's from Kalispell, Montana, which is where I grew up. So I kind of look at him as like this weird character actor role model where I'm like, I can make it. I can do it. I really want to meet you.
There's good water in that town.
Brad Pitt, get out of here. Give me Troy Evans.
The guy from the Reanimator. I enjoyed his acting. That acting was superb. Spot on. He acted really crazy.
The acting is way over the top. I think that was on purpose for comedic effect, so I'm not going to hold that against any of the actors. If you just watch this movie from an acting standpoint, you would think these people don't know what they're doing.
It's just really cool to see Robert Zemeckis and Michael J. Fox working together again, because obviously they worked together on the Back to the Future trilogy, and just kind of like getting back into that world. It has this kind of Back to the Future feel to it.
Oh yeah,
for some reason.
I'll tell you why. Michael J. Fox was the only one picked for the lead because of this reason, because Robert Zemeckis was producing the movie, and he saw the script that Peter Jackson wrote. He wrote it with Fran Walsh, and it was actually going to be a Tales from the Crypt short. It was going to be part of that series. And then Zemeckis read the script. He's like, no, it's too good. Let's make it a movie.
That's really cool.
So it changed to that, and then Zemeckis was like, you should put Michael J. Fox in the lead role, and Peter Jackson was like, I don't want anybody else now. And then he signed on. How cool is that?
That's really,
amazing.
really cool.
And I think why you're saying it kind of feels like Back to the Future in those movies is one, Zemeckis is there, but two, I think it's got this 90s, late 80s feel because...
Yeah.
Guess who did the score?
Elfman
did the score. So when I was
yeah.
watching this whole thing, I was like, this kind of feels like Beetlejuice in tone, and then it was because the music was done by Elfman. And if you sit through this whole freaking movie, you realize that Elfman worked his ass off because the music never stops.
Yeah. And there's this whole thing that I talk about with my score nerd pal Owen about how, like, if a movie's really good and a story is really good, the composer is, they feel compelled to make a really, really good score. And that soundtrack, that score is so amazing to the Frighteners. It gets stuck in your head, and it's all Beetlejuicy.
Yeah, and it never
like,
stops. It's so freaking good.
Yeah.
And Elfman signed on to this film because Peter Jackson made Heavenly Creatures back in the day. Elfman loved Heavenly Creatures so much that he said, hey, Peter Jackson, he called him up, he's like, I'm just going to do your next movie, whatever it is. I'm signed on. It ended up being Frighteners. Didn't read the script or anything.
Wow,
he just
that's
did the
awesome.
freaking score for it.
And it is kind of just this dream team of, like, horror genre people and like, just great movie people, and they all came together to make a movie. Like, it came out kind of before the time when I was obsessed with movies, but if I had known directors' names and producers and all that kind of stuff, if someone told me Peter Jackson, Michael J. Fox, Robert Zemeckis, Danny Elfman, John Astin is in the movie. Oh,
he plays the judge. He's great. Arlie Ermy. You put all these guys and you give them like rings like the Captain Planet children, and they all like say their superpowers. Composer, director. This movie is what comes down from the heavens and saves the world.
But the film is actually not without fault. There's a couple of things that are kind of dated, a little cheesy. The effects are slightly cheesy. We were just talking about this.
But that being said, when this movie first came out, like I had the opportunity to see it in the theater, as I'm assuming you did too. And I just remember going,
being blown away.
So cool.
The stretching through the wall thing, it was like such a huge deal back then because it was like, I'd never seen anything like this before. That's really cool.
Special effects are so good in this movie. So good.
This movie relies very heavily on CGI. I have to point that out. And some of the time it doesn't really look the best.
And I was sitting there watching it, and I think DJ was talking to us about this too. Like, what if they just went practical with the effects? Like, Jackson has always been on the cutting edge of doing the CG, which has been great, and it's done a lot for movies. But I look at it now, and I'm like, a lot of that could have been probably practical, and it might have held up a little bit better. I would love to see a recut. I would like Jackson maybe on the 20th anniversary, like 2016. Yeah. Just to go back and maybe get Weta on board and just redo the special effects and make it darker.
If we could get a George Lucas style special edition redo of certain amazing movies, but have them done by not a madman who's CGI crazy, then maybe there'd be some really cool shit. Yeah,
I think you could make it darker and it'd be fun to watch.
So, anything you didn't like about the movie other than kind of the effects?
Man, the effects are the biggest thing. No, I really got no other complaints. The effects are dated, but I don't want to say the movie is perfect because it's impossible to make something perfect, but it's just done so well. The cinematography is great. The writing is really fun. It's imaginative. There's like nothing like this had been done before.
See, that's the thing, and it does have balls. The script has balls. The whole concept has balls. And I don't think studios really take chances with like unique, creative scripts like this anymore. And that's why we love Beetlejuice so much and Edward Scissorhands so much and all these kind of like really quirky, tongue-in-cheek kind of pseudo-family horror movies because the studios don't want to take a chance on them anymore.
And I felt like this was a chance across the board because they took like comedy and really a dark story and smashed them together, and I don't think they didn't skim on the violence and the gore too much, and it wasn't over the top. They did what they needed to do with it, and I love what they did with the worlds, being able to give a little bit of backstory and understanding to the ghosts. It wasn't just like ghosts are there. They created rules for the ghosts. They changed rules, different than what we tend to usually think is associated with ghosts in that world. But the fact that they're these ectoplasmic bodies that are also decaying in this ectoplasmic world, and they can be affected by each other. You can die as a ghost from the actions of other ghosts. That's really cool.
Yeah. Just all really creative, cool stuff. And it's sad that we haven't really gotten a movie like this again since it.
Yeah.
And why hasn't someone made this kind of cool, like, get John Carpenter and maybe Quentin Tarantino and like all these other crazy bad, get Tom Savini's team, the all the effects people that work on Walking Dead, and just make this really cool horror movie, you know? And it hasn't been done since.
Jake Busey. We're not talking about Jake Busey.
Jake Busey's I got a score 12. That's one more than Starkweather. So Joe and I both really enjoyed this movie. Great pick for Halloween, Steve. I appreciate it.
And it's fun. It's not too scary. You could watch it with somebody that wants to kind of like try to get into the world of horror, but doesn't want to get too scared. Because it's not scary. It's just cool.
The Frighteners. Not frightening. I thought this movie was fairly well done and fairly well acted, but a horror story it was not.
But to me personally, it didn't really seem like a horror film. It seemed more like a children's Halloween film. Now, as for the movie as a whole, yes, I did enjoy it, but it really was not scary at all.
So this film wasn't actually that scary, considering it was meant to be a horror film, but yet it was still very entertaining. Exactly. I couldn't put it better myself.
We've only got one more movie left in our
Halloween movie.
Netflix series. So we decided to do something kind of unique.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna sit Trish, who she can't watch scary movies.
Yeah, she's terrified.
Scream scared her so much that she refused to watch it a second time.
Jurassic Park scared her. She gets nightmares from Jurassic Park.
So she's that type of person, but she is stepping up to the plate. And we're gonna put her and Meg and Steve in a very dark room, and we're going to film them as they watch Event Horizon.
Yes, quite possibly the scariest movie on Netflix right now. We tried to find something really, really scary. Event Horizon, if you've seen it, that movie's fucked up.
It's a little bit of a mind F.
Yeah, it's messed up, man. A lot of crazy shit going on and demons in space, and it's all sorts of scary. So yeah, we're gonna do something really special for you guys. Very excited. So if you want your review featured in the episode, just use the hashtag SFMC Event Horizon on your YouTube video, and we will find it and put it in there.
I'm gonna put a spin on this, Steve.
What are you gonna do?
Why don't you guys film yourselves watching it if you've never watched it before?
Oh, that's cool.
Send in your responses as well, and maybe we'll be able to do a little bit of fun
we'll
with
do a little intercut with it. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. And if you want to watch movies with us like these guys all did, you can go to netflix.com/sourcefed and get a whole month of free movies. Ain't that right, Joe?
A month of free movies?
What is this? What is this? Freedom
Is this
land?
Christmas time?
What is this? The United States of America, or the land of the free?
Did you share your fantasies coming to realities?
Thank you guys so much. I'm Steve Zaragoza.
I'm Joe Beretta.
Joe, I love you.
I love you too. Hold me?
No.
Hold me?
Season don't feel the reaper. In the wind and the sun and the rain, it could be like they are. Come on, baby, don't feel the reaper. Be the